morning, everyone. I want to try an experiment today, and basically what that experiment is going to consist of is a bloom. And the reason I'm wanting to experiment is because after watching Michelle at Glitz and Glitter, a couple weeks ago, she was trying to get a bloom in a very large square mold because she had a subscriber that was wanting a bloom in a square tray. She tested several coasters trying to get the colors right, and then when she collaborated with the subscriber and they thought they had the colors right, then she decided to go into the tray, and then was getting inconsistencies in her tray as far as the bloom. Well, I think just by looking at the camera, the tray was probably about the size of this, maybe a little smaller. I don't know, based on, because she really never did give the measurements of the tray. This is 28 by 42 centimeters. So I'm not exactly 100% sure on the measurements. So that being said, the reason I'm doing this is because I can't stop thinking about it, and so I want to help. I want to see if I can help figure out why her blooms didn't bloom consistently. And so I have a theory. So I'm going to tag Michelle in this because I want her to try this again. I want her to be able to figure this out, and because I felt so bad that she wasn't able to figure it out. And so this is my theory, and so I'm going to test it based on what my theory is, my thought process. So here's my theory. In order for you to get a bloom to bloom consistency in this much space, your resin has to be heated consistently. And when you're pouring resin into that much space, you're going to get inconsistent temperatures throughout your tray. So, and I have two different testing methods. I have a meat thermometer and I have an infrared thermometer. So this mat is a reptile mat, and I can control the temperature of this mat. It has a turn gauge on it that you can turn up or you can turn down. And as you can see over here, I have a thermometer that's underneath it, and it tells me what the temperature is of this mat. So right now I've got it on and it's at 95.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So now that is not going to be for the whole mat. So if you take this infrared thermometer and test it down here, oh, that's Celsius. Sorry, let me turn it to Fahrenheit. If I can figure out how to do that. There we go. So down here on the mat, it's pretty close. It's 95, yeah, so it's 95 degrees. So it's just a degree or a point degree off. And this one down here is 96. Same over here. Same over here. So your temperature of your mat is going to be different temperatures, obviously, but at least it's within range of what your thermometer says. So, which is better than your mat just sitting on your counter. And if you have ceiling fans going or any other fans going, that's going to contribute to that temperature change. So here's my thought process. I don't have a square mold. So this mold, I think, is, let me look. It's 11.5 inches around. So we're going to attempt to make this and check the temperatures as we're doing it. So today for this bloom, I'm going to be using the Ocean White like she used, but I'm going to be adding my Let's Resin alcohol ink like I always do. But my colors I'm going to use is Olive Green by Let's Resin. I'm going to use the Seashell by Let's Resin and the Yellow by Let's Resin. But I'm going to be mixing the Seashell with the yellow to tone the yellow down a little bit, make it a little buttery, creamy yellow. And then those are going to be my two colors that I'm going to use, and then just the white. So let me mix up some resin. And this tray is only, whoops, 1 centimeter deep. So I thought it would be perfect because Michelle likes to only go with a very thin amount of resin for her bloom. So we're going to go with just half of that, maybe a half a centimeter, which I think is pretty shallow. And while I'm mixing my resin, my mold is sitting on this mat getting warmed up. So let me mix some resin, and then I will be back. And also we're going to pipe our petals versus pouring them from a cup. And because I think that's also another thing, is that when you're doing your petals, your lines need to be consistent. Because I think when you're pouring from a cup, you're not getting consistent lines when you're pouring, because sometimes when you're pouring you get bigger pouring spots than you do when you pipe. So that's another theory I have as well. And I also am going to be using the Let's Resin casting resin, which is what I use all the time. So yeah, so let me mix up some resin and I will be right back. Okay, we are back. Got my colors mixed up, except for my white. And I'm going to put my, over there, hopefully that's enough. That is 225 mLs. So while that's working, I'm going to mix up my white. And I know Michelle likes her white pretty white, so I'm just going to put get it out of here. I'm going to put 2 drops to start with. Let's see what we have. Still pretty translucent. let me put in one more drop. I don't like to go overboard with this because this ocean white is really heavy. But I know she likes hers to be that way, so we'll just give her a try. Still might be too opaque. I mean, too translucent. Well, let me get my alcohol ink in here first, and then we'll figure it out. And I always put in 5 or 6 drops. And the purpose of the alcohol ink, God, that stuff stinks. And the purpose of the alcohol ink is to lighten that white up a little bit so it's not so heavy. So now I can probably add a 3rd drop or a 4th drop and it should be okay. So let me add one more drop. And then that should make that pretty opaque. I need to get my butt in gear here, because things are heating up. I can feel it. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, let's test this. 97. Let me change the that's pretty warm. Okay. Hopefully that's enough. So I mixed up 300 mLs. All right. Get my that out of there. Let's see what we got. See, it cooled down already from 36 to 35. But let me change this to Fahrenheit. So over here we have 101, 98, 100, 103, 98, 97. So if that tells you anything, that is the inconsistency you have with pouring resin into a large tray. Just getting some bubbles here, because I don't want, because I didn't take the time to put it through my vacuum chamber. Should have, but I didn't. Now I'll use my long neck lighter. I think I got all the bubbles. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I dripped stuff from my paper towel or my baby wipe. That's not good. Don't do that. Water and resin, they don't like each other. And that could affect how things cure. So let me just take that off the top of that. Didn't even see that drip. Alright, throw that away. Now we gotta clear some bubbles. What the heck? Where is that coming from? Let me grab a paper towel. Okay, I think we got it. That was unexpected. Don't do that. Don't let your baby wipes drop water into your silicone. Into your resin. It could be hazardous. All right, we're gonna pour into our piping bag our colors. I'm just going to pour them straight in. Gosh, you guys, after yesterday moving, whew, my allergies were out of control. Being outside, it was windy. Craziness. And I can't take my medication for 7 days, so that was even crazier yet. Let's give this a go. I wanted to test the temperature of this before I went in. It's 100 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. I'm just going to let those colors fall down in there. Going to do anything fancy. We're just going to do circles. And this resin is hot. All right, ready? problem. I can fix all that. Where else did I drop? Alright, looks like I'm out of resin over here. Quick torch, get the bubbles. Done. Alright guys, we'll be back in 10 minutes to see how this is blooming. My heat mat is still the same temperature, and another thing I'm going to try is I'm going to cover this just to see if we can maintain that temperature inside of here. Okay? Be back in 10 minutes. Alright, see you in 10. Okay guys, here's where we are 10 minutes out. It's amazing. A resin can get anywhere. Doesn't matter. So this is where we are 10 minutes out. So it's looking pretty good. Got a few little spaces over here that need to kind of move in. But other than that, it's looking really good. So I'll keep it covered up so that the heat stays in there, and I'll keep checking on it. Other than that, it looks really well. So we'll keep watching it. Alright guys, we'll be back when this is cured. We'll see you in a little while. Alright, bye. I forgot, I wanted to test the temperature. So the center is 117. Same with the outside. Over here it's 108, 105, 113, 119, 114. So the temperature is pretty consistent. It's not all the same, but it's within the same range. So it's pretty consistent. So that's why I think it's blooming pretty consistent around here. And let me see what the temperature is here. 114, 118. So it's pretty consistent throughout the bloom. So I think that's the key to this whole thing, is to keeping your temperature consistent so that that bloom can keep moving. That's my thoughts. Now, we're only 10 minutes in, so we'll see what it looks like in another 10 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer and we'll check it again in 10 minutes. All right? Okay. Okay guys, another 10 minutes. Everything's starting to close in really well. Still got a few little places right here, but I think it's closing in real well. All right guys, we will see you guys back when this is ready for a back coat. Something in there. Let's check the temperature one more time. Still consistent. Little down over here on this side. Little down on the outside still, maybe a little, but it's pretty darn consistent. I'll keep it covered and we'll come back when this is ready for a back coat. Got to decide what color I'm going to put on the back. So, all right, we'll see you in a little while. All right, later. Okay, everyone, welcome back. We are ready for a back coat, and the color I think I'm going to use is this plum. So let me mix up some resin, and I will we'll get this back coat on here. So let me mix up resin. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, here is the plum color. I think I'm going to add a little bit of dark purple. I mean, I like this color, but I want it to be a little more purplish, I think. And I have not used this color before, so just gonna add a big old scoop. Let's see what we get. I like that color better. The plum is okay, but it just needed a little something something. That's a much better color, don't you think? All right. So in a sense, I only added 1 scoop of the plum and I added 1 scoop of the dark purple. So it's a scoop of each. And this is 8 ounces of the Let's Resin casting resin. 4 ounces of A, 4 ounces of B. So we gotta avoid that. All right, here we go. Isn't that a pretty color? Love that color. This is giving me such fall vibes. Alright guys, I will be back when this is cured and we will reveal this and see if we have the results that we expected. Okay? Alright, we'll be back once this is cured. Alright guys, see you in a little while. Bye. Hi everyone. Welcome back. I think we're ready to demold this. It might still be a little soft, but nothing we can't handle. It's still a little warm from sitting on the, I'm gonna shut that off. and start cooling down. Sticky right there. Oh, oh goodness. The heck? That's a little odd. Just everywhere else was ready, but what, one spot? Let's use a little alcohol on my finger here. That's strange. Let me set this down for a second. Wipe off my finger. It's still a little warm right there. It won't even come off my glove. That's how sticky it is. Weird. Huh. Strange. Alright, well, it doesn't matter anyway. It's cured everywhere else, just not in that one spot, so put a little more alcohol on that. That from being sticky. Just have to make sure I don't touch that. All right. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Now, in here, remember when I first started squirting out of my piping bag? Let me calm this light down here just a second. It's a little too bright. When I first started squirting out of my piping bag, it was all of the yellow, and so then when I squirted some of it out, then I started getting all of the colors, so that's why that's like that. But you know, it doesn't look that bad, but I do like it. It's very pretty. What do you guys think? So basically this, my lights are reflecting off of, let me just set it down. Is that better? And I'll just zoom you guys in just a little bit. Try anyway. Well, it's not letting me. So basically, this is achieved, as you can see, it was achieved all by temperature control. So I think, Michelle, I think this is the secret to getting a big bloom to bloom. Because if you can see, it's pretty consistent all the way around. This happened because, remember when I said, when I had to take that resin out of there because I dripped my baby wipe water in there, and so I had to scoop that resin out of there, and since it was such a thin amount, I just kind of put some more resin back in there, and so that's what that is. But anyway, so I think that's the answer. I think it needs to have consistent heat. And since this was on the heat mat and stayed on the heat mat the whole time, and because it's such a big bloom, I just think that's the answer. I think it needed to have consistent heat to bloom. Now, piping, I mean, Michelle, you could try it. You're probably way better at the pouring part of it than I am. You know, with you being a cake decorator, you're probably way better at that than I am. So, I mean, you could do it, pour it out of the cup. I used the piping bag only because I'm not very good at pouring and keeping consistent lines by pouring. So, if, you know, whatever way works for you, you know, I say go for it. But, you know, my thing is that I think to get this to work on a bigger surface, I think it needs to be a consistent heat. I think that's the key. So, anyway, Michelle, I hope this helps. I really do want you to try that bloom again for your subscriber. But I just wanted to find out if my theory was correct in saying that the bigger your surface area for a bloom is that it needs to have consistent heat all the way across so that your resin doesn't cool down in there to make the bloom, if that makes sense. So I don't know if this was helpful. I don't know, but I had to test it because it's been bugging me after watching your video and trying to figure it out, because that's the way I am. I'm a figure it out girl. So this is what I got. I don't know, Michelle. Tell me what you think. But this is what I think is the issue, is that it needs to have consistent heat in order for that bloom to go. So, anyway, that's my theory. And I don't know, my subscribers, what do you think? Do you think that, for those of you that watched Michelle's video on her tray bloom that she tried several times and couldn't get it to bloom correctly, what do you guys think? Tell me what you think in the comments. Also, I have some extras. I need to show you that I made, this was leftover resin. It's a keychain with the olive green. I have some buttons that I've had for a very long time and I haven't used them, and so I just snipped the back off of it, and so that's what I did with that. And I put some gold stars around that and a cross, and then I used my gold pin to color that around that. And then I made a second one because I had quite a bit of the olive left, and also another button. I didn't have the green tassels, so I used the tan one, and it says hero, and I did put stars and another cross. And this one I just outlined in the gold. And then for this one, I showed you guys this a while back using the Let's Resin chameleon flakes, and I think this is the lime and blue, and I just added a black cat sticker, put a little fishbone on there, and a black tassel and a black keychain. So, and oh, and I backed it in white to bring out those flakes in there. instead of black, I backed it in white. So there's that one. And then this one is left over from, I don't remember what project, but it was black and I had white, so I marbled the two together. And then I put a dragonfly charm and I filled his wings with I think just some iridescent glitter, and then I put the rhinestones around the edge, attached a rainbow tassel, and that's what that one looks like. So those are my extras on that. And I can't remember if I showed you guys the little elephant. I've been using some of my clear resin, and I just brushed the surface of each color of that into resin. The glazed Tiffany, glazed blue, glazed gold, and glazed orange. And I'm going to keep him here just so we can see what those colors look like inside of resin, clear resin. And so that's all of those colors. So there's that. All right, I think that's it for all my extras. I am working on another project that I'm using my this little flower mold. Right now it's got all these little bits of resin in it, but as I'm getting extra resin, I'm using this flower mold, but I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. That's going to be a special project. So there you go, guys. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what your guys' theories are behind this. That's my whole take on it. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll move on to my next video. I do have a unboxing to do, and we will do that and see what we can make from that. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in with me on this journey and this experiment, and hopefully it helped. I know it satisfies my curiosity on whether or not, you know, that could have been the issue. I hope it helped, but I guess I'll have to leave it up to the judges, which is all of you, and we'll see what you guys think. So, all right, guys, if you like this experiment or tutorial on what you thought, then hit that like button, share it, and then if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It'll help my channel grow, and I will be tagging Michelle at Glitz and Glitter in this because I would like to hear her thoughts as well. So on that note, I'll leave you and we'll go to my next video. And I do apologize for my head being in the first part of this video. I didn't realize that it was there. Like I said, I raised my thing up because I was tired of getting my hair caught on the turning knob. So, all right, guys, thank you. Have a great evening. Bye.